Okay, welcome to Burnish TV, Wednesday, September the 2nd. Just giving you a quick little view as to where things are up to with the club room construction. Starting to take a bit of shape, as you can see. Okay, I'm on the bottom ground, so I'm coming around towards the side that's facing towards the city. This is going to be the main entrance to the club rooms. Just see underneath, that's where an underground storeroom will be, 60 square metres, and then up the top there's a ramp that goes up to the front entry, which is pretty much above the that open there for the underground storage. And then we'll just whiz along a little bit further, and this is the away change rooms down there as we veer up. Okay, I'll just pause that and go to the top ground. Okay, now on the top ground, so all pretty much self-explanatory. So that's where the new social rooms are going to be. As we come further around towards the goalposts, just in this area in here is where the new little grandstand's going to be. Then there's an open area. You can sort of see that green timber in the background. That's one of the change rooms. And that's an open area, a bit hard to see. Okay, really just coming from the centre of the ground, just gives you a bit of a feel for just how widespread the development is. Just doing another angle coming up from the temporary village, so that's just looking down the back. Coming up here, you can see along the front of it. Okay. All right, back on the film here, and we've got a couple of presidents here, Case, and we'll get to Case later, and Paul Molan. Paul, just quickly before we get on to talking, so that's going to be some rainwater tanks for servicing the toilets, etc.
Yeah, and the mechanical plant will be in there too, just between the stairs and that blockwork wall down there.
Gotcha.
You can see that they've started on the infill walling, the stud walling, and what's up there now is Fiery's room, Fiery's trainer's room at this end on the left, and the change room number 1 and the gymnasium. So that's that whole lot of space there.
Okay.
They've started this work now because they're currently fabricating.
Hang on. Let's. It's a bit windy here.
Yep.
I'll just halt this and we'll go and have a chat in.
There's no wind here.
No wind there.
Yeah, no.
It's a very windy day here on Wednesday, so you can drop your mask, Paul.
Am I allowed to do this?
Yes, you are. Yep, definitely. Take it from me.
Yeah.
I'll go to jail if anyone gets charged. All right, you were saying, mate.
I think you've shown a video of what's happening along the front.
I have, and at the side from the bottom oval.
Okay, well people can see the structural steel was completed last week. They're now in the process of having the roof manufactured, so that's going to take a couple of weeks apparently, and I think it'll probably take a couple of more weeks to erect that. So by the end of September, the building should have a roof over the whole facade.
Right.
In the interim, while they're waiting for that roof to come back, because nothing can happen underneath the roof, whilst they're putting that on, in case they drop something on some poor tradie, they've now brought some carpenters in and they're infilling. So, as we've said before, they've now put the walls up for the main change room, for the top ground, and for the gym, and also for the trainer's space, for Fiery space. So they only started on that yesterday, and they've made some pretty good progress, the 5 tradies that are here. So I'd expect that they would be wanting to have all of that work done before the roof comes back in 2 weeks' time.
Okay.
Now, I don't know how you saw along the front, but that's going to be treated. You can see that there's some angled structural elements. Below that is going to be purely glazed, and then there's going to be a timber treatment above the lower roof, what you see from the ground. Above that there'll be polycarbonate to let some light into the social space as well. and that same treatment will be carried along to the change rooms, where there'll be polycarbonate at a much higher level, just above where the stud wall is, and the treatment below that will be a face brickwork. So all that, they'll be able to bring in all those trades hopefully once the roof is in place. Hopefully the whole site can be inundated with tradies, provided the state government relieves sites like this from the current restrictions on the 13th of September.
Okay.
And they're still talking about a completion date, if that happens, before Christmas, so that would be excellent.
So what's the best case scenario, do you think?
Well, that's what they're saying, before Christmas, that it might be completed. I don't know when it might be available for occupation, probably early in the new year, you would expect.
Okay, so there's maybe a small chance that we might be able to have a little bit of a soft opening just before Christmas, but more than
I couldn't see it opening before Christmas, but probably soon in the new year, I would have thought, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So maybe we'll be fitting out December, January, and sometime in January
I would expect so.
have an opening.
It's going to be a lot of work, for us to do to get it ready and move everything back in. That's going to take a bit of time. But,
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. I think you've just about covered it. Anything else? I know you've been having meetings with the project managers. Anything else of note?
No, I don't think so. The most up-to-date thing on the lighting is, as a nearby neighbour, I got advised about the fact that there was a proposal to put new lighting on the ground today. So 4 27-metre high poles on the top and bottom grounds, and I think each of the poles had 8 lights on it.
Yep.
Or capacity for 8 lights, which presumably will get it up to 150 lux. So that's going through a process now whereby people who the building surveyor thinks might be affected are being notified about it, and they've got until the 9th of September to respond to the building surveyor. And presumably, if they get no objections, they'll then let the contract for those all those lights to be put up. But that cannot happen until such time as this building is completed, because a couple of the light poles are within the site, the building site, for the construction of the pavilion.
Excellent.
And I think that's about it.
All right, mate. Thank you for getting on Burners TV and making the time.
No trouble.
We'll probably speak to you in a couple of weeks' time to get another update.
Righto.
Thanks,
Good
Paul.
one.